So Iga Swiatek just did this. Handed out 2 bagels in 57 minutes in a Wimbledon final. And this isn't the first time she's done this. When her level is higher than her opponent's, she routinely dishes out bagels and breadsticks. But there are a lot of you out there who struggle to find this level of dominance even when you're hitting better than your opponent. I know you guys have had that experience where you feel like you're so much better than this guy or so much better than this girl, and yet you can't actually put matches like these together like Iga can. We're going to show you the things Iga does when she knows that her level is higher than her opponent that gets her these kinds of score lines and prevents her opponent from having any chance to come back in the match. We're going to start right here with the nuances of the shot selection decision she makes here and the degree of difficulty of those shots. So early in this point, Anisimova plays a great backhand and Iga's on the run. This is the first real decision point, which is what to do with this ball and how big to hit it. Now, there are a lot of players. For example, let's say you were playing, Jack Draper or Rafael Nadal here. If she hits this slice, this point is absolutely over. But you have to know your opponent. It is the complete opposite here, where what we see is Anisimova hits like a mediocre chip and she gets passed. So let's go back to this decision point first, then we're going to talk about the passing shot. A lot of times what I see players, they're here, and they think they have to do something crazy. They think they have to hit some knifing slice like Roger Federer. They think they have to try to drive this deep into the back corner. They think they have to hit it with 5,000 RPM so their opponent can't attack it. But that's not true. You have to make your opponent beat you, and the bigger the level gap between you and your opponent, the more you need to make your opponent beat you. And, the smaller the level of the gap, or if you are actually worse than your opponent, that's when you might have to make magic happen here because you can't just hit this slice. But if we look at the slice Iga likes to hit, it's a little bit floaty. It's over the high part of the net. It's not that deep. It's not a drop shot. It's not a deep slice. It's just a shot. And this is the thing is, you want to trade quality for consistency when you are the stronger player. Make your opponent earn this, right? So Amanda hits an amazing backhand. It's a great backhand. Sets her up really well for the point. But what Iga's going to do is force her to play multiple extra good quality shots to win the point. Let's say she were to try to do some, knife the slice cross court and low. Well, if that goes in, yeah, Amanda's going to have a hard time with it. The point's neutral. Maybe Iga even gets on offense. But she's also going to miss that shot a lot more than this kind of chip floater. And this kind of chip floater, again, if Amanda was really on, rock solid, this shot's probably going past the Iga. She probably gets up there quicker. She probably hits it when it's still above the head and net, doesn't chip it, or she chips it and hits a drop shot winner, right? Like that's what, Ash Barty might do. But you have to play to your opponent, and this shot was a much more optimal shot than a more aggressive choice in this situation. And it's the exact same thing on the pass. So, okay, Anisimova comes here. Iga's got this passing shot. Okay, she could try to hit down the line, within a foot from the line. She could try to hit some ridiculous angle cross court, but instead, she just hits it hard over the center of the net. Could Amanda make this volley? Yes, she could make this volley. Maybe she hits a winner on this volley. It's possible. It's unlikely. Again, if that's Roger Federer, if that's Carlos Alcaraz, if it's, Mike Bryan at net, yeah, probably this just gets knocked off. But that's the thing about playing in that situation where you're better than your opponent. Make them earn everything, right? So it's not that Iga's going easy. It's not that she's slowing her swing down. She takes a full swing through this backhand, but there's no reason to aim for anything more aggressive than this target. She is never going to miss this passing shot. This is a rally backhand. Anisimova just happens to be standing at net. Look at the trajectory on this backhand she hits. You see where it crosses the net and where it lands? See that trajectory? That is such a high percentage shot for her. Now, it was a winner, but okay, Anisimova sticks her racket out, pops the volley up. She's just going to hit another easy winner. And so this is the way you want to think when you know you're stronger than your opponent. Instead of overplaying, like, oh, I should be hitting 100 winners past them, you want to underplay. You want to hit safer shots to bigger targets. Trust your movement. Trust your ball striking. Trust your vision. On a day like today, Iga is pretty much better at everything than Anisimova, except for the serve, which we'll get to later. So trust it, right? And a quick aside here, you might not be better than your opponent, you might be delusional. This is assuming that you're not delusional and you really are better than them. If you really are better than them, you can hit weaker shots like this, and you can hit less aggressive passing shots like this, and you are still going to be in total control of the points of the match and of the scoreline. Now, if you can't play long rallies like this because you're missing or stuff, you're probably just not as good as you think. But assuming that it is actually the case that there's a level gap and you just can't execute, you're probably taking shots like this where you're on defense and not accepting the fact that your opponent hit a good shot because you feel like you're so much better than them, and like trying to be like, oh no, I'm going to play back at you, and then missing for no reason. Whereas what Iga does is she says, I know I'm better than you, earn it. Anisimova hits this approach. She says, I know I'm better than you. I'm just going to hit this passing shot up the middle, earn it. And she wins the point, and it's pretty darn easy for her. So let's talk about the serve next. Now, even if you're better than your opponent, they are probably going to be better than you at certain things. And for Iga, her serve is still not great even when she's dominating. So I want to go over one technical and one psychological implication of this. First is, she doesn't get upset or get distracted by the fact that Anisimova rips this return. You know, a lot of times, like, especially with younger students, but even with some adults, it's like, it's almost like, oh, I'm better than this person. Like, how dare they, like, smack this forehand on my return? It's like, oh, something's wrong. But it's like, just because you're better than your opponent doesn't mean your opponent's not good. Doesn't mean they don't have skills that they can use to hurt you. So that's the psychological part is, just because you're better than your opponent, even if you're better enough to win 6-0, 6-0, doesn't mean they're not going to have things that can hurt you. Okay, now let's talk about the technical element, which is, so even though Iga's serve is not amazing, watch what is amazing, best in the world probably, the way she uses her feet and her eyes after the serve. So that serve is off her racket. Now her head is already up. Her serve hasn't even landed yet. Her head's already up, following what Anisimova is doing. Great balanced landing, and then watch the feet. Land and ready. You see that immediate land and ready. So there is no, a lot of you guys that are working on your serve, the work on the serve and the mental focus on the serve leaks into the points, and then it messes up your first ball. So I don't see this. A lot of times when I watch match footage, I don't see this from you guys. I don't see the land, and immediately ready. See how her third step is a pivot step towards the ball. So even during the end of her service motion, the racket's barely contacted the ball. The ball's not even bounced yet. She's receiving. Already she's receiving. Look at her head. It's forward. Look at her body. She's balanced. She is already receiving right here. And now if we watch her legs, boom. So she's mentally receiving here. Physically with her legs, she's already on balance when she hops here. This is like kind of a, you know, the serve is very quick. You don't have time for like a perfectly pristine split step. So she's kind of landed from her serve here, and that's it. The next motion from right here is her split step. And then in the air, she recognizes where the ball's going. And if you watch her right foot, it's that pivot step where she lands from the split and presses off as one motion. So she hits a fine serve. You know, I mean, you know, for a regular person, it's a great serve. For a pro, a 94 right into the forehand is not amazing. Anisimova crushes the return. Deep return, very hard to handle. And look how much balance she has. She knows exactly where the ball is. She hits it on the center of the string bed, keeps the point neutral, and then gives herself the chance. Anisimova misses. That's not, that is what it is. But what really happens, the thing Iga does so well here is, okay, serve's not going to be great. Maybe the opponent's going to rip the return, but her receiving right after the serve is elite. There's no more thought of her serve in her mind right now. She's purely focused on receiving the next ball. Quick, explosive step because she uses her feet right, knows exactly where the ball is, sees it hit the ground, keeps the point neutral, and wins the point. Now, lastly, I want to look at the match point. Look at Iga's targeting here. Center of the court. Center of the court again. Look at her depth. She's barely even hitting the ball deep. She's taking a full swing. The ball sometimes goes deep, but sometimes it lands like right on the service line. This is the epitome of you can't beat me tennis. And then she just hits a winner because she feels like it at the end. Now, I know a big thesis of this video has been that you want to lean towards underplaying when you're better than your opponent. Make them earn it. Make them prove they can hit you off the court. But that doesn't mean you have to push. When you have a shot, like for Iga, it's this off backhand that you love, that you win so many of your points with. When you see it in front of you, when that ball kind of lights up and you just know this is the time, you just go for it. You don't worry about, oh, I'm supposed to be playing safe or I'm supposed to be playing center. That's on the margins. There's a whole bunch of little decisions Iga made that are the reason she only made 8 errors this entire match. But when the ball lights up, when you have that instinct that you just want to hit your shot, don't override that. That's actually going too far.